I just wanted to give you a little update on some issues I found with your Can-Am as I was doing the service. I did take the bike for a quick little test drive, and even just sitting in the yard, something I didn't really pay attention to when I first brought it in, because sometimes I get this sort of thing with EPS units will just have a little bit of sort of play in them. You can move the handlebars a little bit and the wheels not turn, but I'd actually noticed that yours turn quite a bit and the wheels don't turn. So I decided to investigate a little bit more, and since I already had to pull the panels off on this side to be able to get in to do the engine coolant stuff, I pulled the ones off the inner wheel well on this side as well. And so if we go in here with my little handy dandy camera, and hopefully I can just sort of set it there. So that little assembly is your pitman arm. And hopefully you can see as I move the handlebars back and forth, the little wobbly thing it's got going on. So inside the part that's between those two nuts is a set of spherical half bushings and some O-rings and what's supposed to be a greased area. Often they're not too much grease left in them. There's no grease nipple on them. You just grease them when you put them together. So in this case, we're going to need to replace the bushings, and we're going to replace the pitman arm at the same time, as well as a new pinch bolt. So I usually put a new pinch bolt and nut on there because that's kind of important to make sure your steering stays together. But just because of the play that I see in that, and when if I turn the wheel instead of the handlebars, you can see that shaft moves up and down quite a bit on the output shaft in the EPS unit. So I'd just be a little bit concerned that there would be some wear on the pitman arm or even on the output shaft, but well, hopefully nothing's in too bad a shape. But for the cost of the new pitman arm, I think they're like 50 some bucks, and you have to take that all apart to be able just to do the spherical bushings anyway. You might as well do the bushings and the new pitman arm all at the same time and have it done and over with. Anyway, so that's one thing that I found. Over here on this side, this is the fun stuff that you discover when you start taking plastics off things. Your CVT cover. I found 1, 2, and down below, just poking out around the corner of the CVT cover right here, there's another bolt that looks to be broken off or missing. I'm not sure which. Those two there look to have been cut off. I would say maybe they were spinning in the hole. The back cover, I do believe, has a metal insert, threaded insert, the bolt screws into, and sometimes those seize up and then they just spin in the plastic and people can't get the cover off. So that is something that would need to be fixed up. They actually don't look like they've been cut off that long ago, be my opinion. But anyway, next. We talked about possible engine coolant leak, and I did find one at the rear bleeder screw on the back of the rear cylinder head. So we get my camera to focus in there. It doesn't really like that spot in the dark. So that's the bleeder screw, and you can see the fiber washer under it, and you can actually see where the coolant's been seeping down around that for a while now. So first thing that I'm going to try, because I did mention to you how these aren't bolts, they're like wood screws. And it's a composite or a plastics family type material they screw into. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try just a new fiber washer in it. I'll fill the system up and I'll bleed the air, and I'll use some cleaner and clean all the old residual as much as I can anyway around the top part of that where that screws into, and I'll run it up to operating temperature 2 or 3 times and just verify that I'm not getting any seepage out around it anymore and that it's not leaking. If it does still leak, and then we would have to actually look at replacing that housing, and that's a funner job because of the location that we're in. As it can show you here, it's not fun. Anyway, so those are the 3 things that I discovered, and I just wanted to sort of let you know. I will be finishing up, hopefully, the coolant stuff as long as they have fiber washers in stock for them. Might be able to get that finished up today and have the service part done. The other items I would have to do whenever we get parts for them. Anyway, thanks a lot.